Well, hey, fish brothers and sisters, thanks for checking in. It's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report. I'm Jonathan Roldan for the Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet down here in La Paz, Baja, Mexico, and we're going to cover all of the fishing action for our past week of the 23rd through the 30th of June 2019. Hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for subscribing. Let's talk a little bit about fishing. You know what? I don't even know where to start. You know, a big part of me wants to say it was just an epic, fantastic week of fishing, and in a lot of ways it was. You know, a lot of folks caught their biggest, their first, the most. The first time they ever caught a certain kind of fish. It was crazy in that respect, but in other respects, it would have been a great week for April or May fishing. June fishing, it's still not quite up to speed yet. We're trying. It's trying real hard to get up to speed, but you know, we're just not quite there yet. But if it were April or May, I would have told you this is the best week of fishing we've ever had in maybe all the 25 years we've been down here in La Paz. Let's start with some things. First and foremost, Rooster Fish Fest. Rooster Fest 2019. This was the most incredible week of rooster fishing we've ever had, bar none. You know, this is called the rooster fish capital of the world for a reason. The world record was caught on our beaches over at Las Arenas. A 114-pound beast was hit there, but we've got other fish that we've released that have gone 120, 140, even 150-pound fish that we released, estimated size by a marine biologist. So there's big roosters there. This is the time for the roosters to be biting, and normally this time of the year, you know, we'll get 1 or 2 per boat, maybe 3 or 4 out of the whole fleet, which is good fishing. This last week, we had maybe 80 to 100 rooster fish caught over with our Las Arenas fleet. One day, I had 8 pangas out, 35 roosters caught and released. That's incredible. You don't hear about stuff like that. Fish as small as, you know, there was a nursery where it produced some 5, 10-pounders, but fish at 40, 50, 60, 70-pound fish out there, again, all caught and released. Guys were having a blast. One panga had over 10 fish, at least that's the count they had. The captain said they might have had 13 or 14 rooster fish in a single day. It was incredible. I mean, if you wanted to catch a rooster fish, if that was on your bucket list this coming week, this was the time to have been down there because we've never seen anything like that. But let's stay with the Las Arenas fleet for a moment. Earlier in the week, yeah, that's Caitlin trying to photobomb us again, walking through the video. But earlier in the week, it was really sticky. Guys had to work really hard. Fishermen were struggling. It was good fishing, but bad catching. There's a big difference between the two. Here's what happened. Earlier in the week, like I said, this is more like April or May fishing because the waters in some respects are still on the cold side. We had Pargo Liso shooting up. Now we had, you know, the regular Pargo, the barred Pargo, dogtooth snapper. We had lots of bonito in the water. There's Jack Crevalle. There's no shortage of action. But all of a sudden, we get these big Pargo Liso. These are these big, giant mullet snapper. They look like when they're schooling, when they're up, usually during April, maybe May, they look like a Japanese koi pond on steroids. 20, 30, 40-pound fish just boiling, roiling, jumping on baits. It's an incredible sight to see. And they'll hit the baits. There's no problem with them hitting the baits, but getting them into the boat is a completely different thing. So, you know, I talk to the guys every day. They're coming back off the beach. How was the fishing? Really long faces. It was a terrible day of fishing. We didn't catch nothing, or we only got a couple little Pargo, Cabrillas, some white bonito. And I say, well, wait a minute. Did you hook some other things? They go, yeah, there's these huge, big red Pargo fish that were jumping all over. How many of those did you hook? Well, we hooked about 12, 13, 15 fish. We only got one of those to the boat. Well, you know, that's not bad fishing. That's bad catching. But these fish are incredibly tough. Their whole head is all bone. They got big teeth. They got sharp gill plates. They have sharp gills. And biggest thing, they're in the rocks. These fish are in shallow waters right now as they spawn, and they're in huge schools, and they will hit whatever you throw in the water. If you drag a lure through them, if you drag a sardine, you throw sardines into them, they go crazy wild. But they're so powerful. They got big backs, big giant fins. They got the big teeth, as I said. They head right back down into the rocks, and one of those fish that we call a zing powie fish, zzz, boom, it's gone. So guys were hooking up on them. And I used to tell folks when I taught the fishing schools at the Hotel Las Arenas out there, if you hook 10 of these and you get 2 or 3 to the boat, you're actually doing pretty good. So like I said, it wasn't bad fishing, it was just bad catching. But it's real unusual. We're getting these species that we shouldn't be getting when it's July already, right? We broke we broke heat records this week. We were up to 107 degrees just the other day. It's hot. Temperatures are in the high 90s. The humidity's up, the low hundreds. We should not be getting these kind of fish, but that's what happened over there. Then the rooster fish on top of it, and then towards the end of the week, we haven't, our Las Arenas fleet has not caught many Dorado this year, and we should be deep into them by now. And really, a couple dinks here and there, occasionally a respectable bull-sized Dorado. At the end of this week, suddenly we're hitting 20, 30, 40-pound Dorado, big bulls, big heads, and just blowing everybody out of the water. We've not seen fish of that size in this area in about 2, maybe 3 years. Really incredible. Hopefully that's going to continue. So, take a look at some of these photos. This is more like April, May fishing. If you look at the fishing gallery or read the whole report that we've got, you're going to see an incredible variety of fish. I mean, maybe 20 different species were caught this week. And let's talk about our La Paz fleet. We have 2 fleets. There's our Tailhunter Las Arenas fleet, and then we have our Tailhunter La Paz fleet. Las Arenas fishes around Cerralvo Island, Las Arenas, Punta Perico, Muertos Bay. Our La Paz fleet comes straight out off the beach behind me here. That's the beach, sun's out, it's a beautiful day. We push off the beach here and we head north out of the bay and we fish around the northern end of town. We fish around Espiritu Santo Island. Now this area has really been surprising as well. There's been no shortage of fish. If you wanted to have a great day, if you want to put some stuff in the ice chest, you want some stuff to eat, no shortage of all the pargo, cabria, nice amberjack, losing a lot of fish in the rocks. Tons of big, giant triggerfish, make great ceviche. But we've also had, for about the last 2 or 3 weeks, yellowtail. Now, again, yellowtail are one of those fish that we normally don't see after, say, April, maybe some into May. That indicates that the waters are still cold. And they've been respectable, 10 to 20, 25-pound fish, a lot of fun. But we normally don't see that this time, this late in the year. But here's the kicker. In the same waters we're catching these cold water yellowtail, we're also catching Dorado. Fun size 5 to 20 pounders. They're out there. The sargasso weeds are coming in, so it's starting to build up. We're seeing more Dorado. But the crazy thing is, one day they want to bite, the next day they don't. One day the waters are blue, everything's biting. The next day the currents are up. The waters are green and they're colder and they're dirty. And the guys come back with long faces. They see Dorado all over the place. They see the big bulls and they just won't bite. The next day everything blows up again. But again, the point I was trying to make is we're seeing cold water and warm water fish in the same area. So really crazy fishing. Nobody went home without fish. Nobody didn't catch fish. Everybody pretty much had smiles. There's just some erratic stuff. One boat catches fish one day. The boat next to it can't get a bite. The waters are blue in one spot, go back to the same spot the next day, and the waters are green. So very erratic, still up and down. There's still fish to be caught. We did hook a couple of tuna this week, not the footballs. These were 100-plus pound fish. 1 or 2 hours. None of them, I think only one got brought to the beach or got put in the boat. The others were lost. Long battles, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. We had 2 guys pass the rod back and forth for about an hour and a half. They got this fish, they estimated 120, 130-pound yellowfin tuna right to the boat. Captain was ready to stick it with the gaff. All of a sudden, underneath the ponga, a huge shark comes out. 2 bites. It was gone. I mean, talk about a battle, talk about National Geographic stuff. That thing got womped, whatever. Anyway, no more tuna, not even a head. Just completely cut the line, 2 bites, blood all over the place. That's National Geographic stuff. The guys had a great time, but unfortunately they didn't get the fish. So some of these tuna are out there right now. They're not the little guys, they're the big guys. So we did have a couple of those hits. Also, for the first time, we had a fairly consistent marlin bite. We lost a couple nice stripers, lost a blue. A couple of stripers did get caught, could not be released. The meat was donated to the locals. And we also had some sailfish biting. So this is the first week we've had that kind of a billfish bite. So we're looking forward to some great things. Hang on, don't turn off this video. Watch till the end because I've got a completely large fishing gallery of photos to check out. And take a look. Keep one thing in mind, lots of variety this week, and I think that's going to continue until these waters warm up completely. We get rid of that colder thermocline, but right now, a lot of variety. Everyone's having fun. We're looking forward to having you down if you're coming down, wherever you are. Thanks for checking in. This is Jonathan for the Mexican Minute Tailhunter Fishing Report. Hope you're doing well. You take care. We'll see you again next week.